Dara, do we go with Alabama, Texas? Do you feel
We
like
do,
it's the
surely.
time? Yeah, okay. So in a week 2 of college football, where we hope we can watch half it somewhere on the television or, as Dara said, on YouTube, some unbelievable matchups. There's no doubt that number 11, the Texas Longhorns, against number 4, Alabama, in Tuscaloosa, a long way from Tralee, boys, is going to be the hell of a game. The Longhorns travel to Tuscaloosa, trying to do something that no team from outside the SEC has done since Louisiana Monroe 2007, and win a non-conference game on Crimson Tide's home patch, home turf. Dar, there's so many ways that we can go into this. I guess first off, can the Texas Longhorns live up to the hype this week? You know, you're looking at all these question marks, but can they go into a stadium full of 100,000 people this weekend? And I'm not saying upset the apple cart, like, but you know, it's a number 11 ranked team against number 4 ranked team. There shouldn't be too much in it, but it feels it's going to be a really hard game for me to pick anyway. I feel like this is going to be our FSU LSU game this week.
Yeah.
We try and give our pick. Did any of us get that right last week? I should have, you know.
I gone with LSU, so no.
I think I picked FSU.
I'll come back. I'll re and check it. What's your thoughts on this game, Dar?
Look, it's what I talked about at the start of the season in our first podcast about this was my storyline of the early season, my storyline of September, really. This is a massive game. I think this is the game where we see what Alabama are. Are they the regenerative machine that they have always been under Saban, where just guys come out of nowhere and replace stars? Like we've got at quarterback Jalen Milroe in place of Bryce Young from last year. He looked phenomenal in week 1. On the other side, a guy, I just want to call up his name here. My apologies. Caleb Downs. He is a freshman safety. He played every snap of their first game. He was named SEC Freshman of the Week. He looks to be like the next in the long line of great Alabama safeties. If you're watching college football with an eye on the draft, it's going to be a long time before this guy's in the NFL. But with these Alabama safeties have a major track record of translating to the NFL. Think Landon Collins, Micah Fitzpatrick. There's any number of examples there. So I'm really, really excited to see what Alabama can do. But on the other side, Texas, Quinn Ewers didn't have the smoothest opening day against Rice last week. He was a little bit rocky at the start, came into it late on. Look, Texas are going for the upset here. I mentioned it in the week 1 podcast. This is their chance to make a statement. Entering the SEC next year, they're coming in to Alabama's house. This could be a massive coup for Texas in what forecast to be a down-ish year for Alabama. There's no better chance for them to win this game than there is this week,
man. You mentioned Caleb Downs, Darrell O'Connell. What about Kool-Aid McKinstry? Talk about that sort of safety corner combination. Who renames their name to Kool-Aid? O'Connell. If you walked into your university of choice and said your name was Kool-Aid, what do you think might happen?
I don't know. I think I might have to what sport? I'd have to be like really good at Gaelic football to where everyone just has to understand. Just when people call people who are like Patrick, they call them like Podge, or like if you're like a very popular one in Kerry is like Weeshi.
Weeshi.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people just called Weeshi, and it's just understood that that's their nickname.
Weeshi.
Yeah.
Weeshi. Dara, we're too far north for that.
We are too far north for that. He's speaking foreign language.
It's mad because for Alabama, Connell, this is, as Dara said, if this is going to be a year where you look at a game like this and you feel like Texas could go in and get the result in terms of 8-8, Alabama's favourites by 7.5 on the spread. Over 18, please gamble aware. Be gamble aware. Over 50, I feel like the over 55.5 is more safe here, just in terms of the general game as a neutral, because I can't call it. Connell, can you entice me into picking one team for this friendly bet that we all have?
Well, they played last year, and last year was not. Alabama won 20-19, but that game probably shouldn't have been as close as it was because Quinn Ewers actually went down with an injury in that game, and then they still managed to keep it close. And for Texas team, where a lot of people would question their defense. It's like way even more improved this year, and it's kind of one of the things that Steve Sarkisian has pointed out, that the offense is going to be what it usually is, but the defense this year is 10 times the team it was the year before. So I think the over is probably a safe bet. I mean, if so long as Ewers probably stays healthy and doesn't as any kind of gets out firing, like if he goes in slowly like he did last week, Texas could get behind early and not really have a way back into the game, especially against an Alabama team. And they'd want to, I think, take advantage of an Alabama team who are still trying to find, what they are on offense as well. Like this is one where, Jalen Milroe had an absolutely amazing game at the weekend, but, Nick Saban's ruthless. Like if he has a bad game in this game and the one after, he could be out as starting quarterback. You just never really know. He benched a guy at halftime of the national championship game. So I think
whatever happened to him, he really
what happened to the guy who got what happened?
I don't think it ever came from.
And what happened to the guy who replaced him? It's absolutely crazy stuff. And I think it'll be a close game. I'm just gonna have to say my pick. I'll say my pick already, and I'll let you guys say. I think it has to be Alabama. I mean, I think you're a stupid man at any time if you just rule out Alabama in any matchup. I think they're Alabama. Like that's the only reason I can give to see them winning this game. Really.
I feel like I should just go against you and pick Texas just for the crack. In the sense, right, if I pick Texas, at least we're on different sides here, And like it feels like now is the time. It just feels like why not? Like, why not have it now? If it's going to be that sort of year for Alabama, why can't it happen now? I'm going to take Texas for the sheer crack, but I can't call this. I'll pick the over. But if I had to go on it, I'd go Texas. Texas plus 7.5. I'm joking. Texas minus 2.5. Darn. Minus 2.
This was one that going into last week, I probably would have edged towards Alabama, but after seeing the quality of Jalen Milroe last week, albeit again against weaker competition, I feel a wee bit more confident taking Alabama now. Look, it's one that can go either way, but look, it's Alabama. Bryant Denny Stadium was loud last week, and that was for a game against a FCS school. What is it going to be like against Texas in primetime, SEC on CBS? It's made for the atmosphere. It's just everything that's created with college football you will see in this game. And so I'm really looking forward to it personally. I think Alabama will have them, but there's no way Alabama runs away with this, I don't think. I think Texas have too much talent at the moment.
Midnight Sunday morning. So that could be dicey for me. I'm not going to lie. It could be dicey. NFL season starts Sunday. I'm down in Dublin on Sunday night. Everyone's more than welcome. Colin, get you up the road there. Come on. We're up in Dublin.